Hey everyone, welcome back to Mike's Vinyl Experience. Thank you all so much for being with me here today. I appreciate each and every one of you so very much. Before we jump into the latest Rhino High Fidelity albums and a quick review of them, I just want to say thank you so much for my last video that was posted talking about my upgrade audio system, new speakers, new amplifier, new preamp. Thank you so much for your comments, your thoughts, your suggestions, your words of encouragement and support. I appreciate that so very much. I can't even begin to tell you how wonderful it is to hear your thoughts, your experiences, and your ideas as I go through this process, and I'm happy to share that with you. It's been a wonderful journey so far. I'm excited. I've been listening to quite a few speakers in the past week since that last video. I actually got an opportunity to hear a pair of PS Audio FR30s. Didn't think I could even find anywhere that they would be on display, much less where I could actually listen to them. But boy, I had an opportunity to spend some time with them, and they are fantastic speakers. I've got a video coming up in the next week and a half, which will be part 2 of my search for audio nirvana, really in search of new speakers, amp and preamp. I'll kind of at that time give you an update of where I'm at with my decision-making process. I've narrowed some things down. I've had an opportunity to listen to a lot of things. Some of the speakers that I really wanted to listen to, I've not been able to for one reason or another, but we'll discuss that in an upcoming video here in a week and a half, and I'll kind of lay that all out to you. But I just want to say, and once again reiterate, thank you so much for your support and your thoughts during this really exciting time of an upgraded audio system, something that I absolutely enjoy. Okay, let's go ahead and get started and talk about the 2 latest Rhino High Fidelity releases that just came out a couple of weeks ago. The latest 2 releases from Rhino High Fidelity are Bad Company from 1974, their first album that Bad Company did, and then Yes, Relayer, also from 1974, but this was their 7th album that they did right after Rick Wakeman had left the band. This album, Yes recorded this album. Really liked Rick Wakeman. Always been a fan of Rick Wakeman. Great keyboardist, pianist. Love his music, and I really enjoyed Yes's material prior to him leaving the band. But I think this was a great idea for Rhino High Fidelity to release Relayer. I think it's a fun album. I did have this as a young man back in my teenage years. Listened to it somewhat sparingly. It wasn't one of my most favorite albums that I listened to. I really was into progressive type music, but this just wasn't one of the ones that I was really a huge fan over. I really do like what Rhino High Fidelity has done. Of course, these albums are limited to 5,000 copies. 180 gram vinyl, cut from the original analog master tapes by Kevin Gray at Coherent Audio, pressed at Optimal Media, heavyweight gatefold jacket. You know, I really think that they're doing a great job. It includes exclusive insert with notes by Sid Schwartz, 50th anniversary pressing, as this is 2024, and as indicated, it's limited to 5,000 copies. Let's go ahead and take a look at the gatefold cover. As we've talked before, I really think Rhino High Fidelity is doing a great job with their gatefolds. I think they look fantastic, very high glossy, shiny. I think they look excellent. I've got the inserts inside the gatefold. Let me move those out. The gatefold I think is excellent, trying to get that without any glare. Back side of the album is excellent. My numbered copy is 0406 of 5,000. What's in the package? We have a lyric sheet that gives you all the words to the songs on them. Of course, on side 1, the only song, and this is really the only song that I really played a lot back in the day when I had this album, is The Gates of Delirium. Really an interesting song. It's really kind of about war, not necessarily a protest to war, but it was really kind of centered around war. Really kind of a neat song that they had done, at least I think. Another thing that comes on the inside of the album is a copy of the original master tapes, at least a picture of it, the back side of it. And then, of course, the commentary that we talked about on the inside by Sid Schwartz. Really pretty cool information that they're doing. Great picture of the band up there. I just think they're doing a great job with these albums. Let's quickly just take a look at the vinyl itself. Yes, Relayer. This is side 1, The Gates of Delirium. Only song on the side 1. Then there's only 2 songs on side 2. Really high quality. Sounds very, very nice. As I indicated to you before, I had the original pressing of this back in the day, and I don't even have a clue where it's at. I probably don't even have it in my collection anymore. At least I don't have it in the ones that I've got out. I've got a couple of totes that I've yet to go through that have some older albums that are in not very good condition, and there's a reason I haven't really gone through them. But it was a good album. I'd listen to it once in a while, but it certainly wasn't one of my favorite. I think what they have done, Rhino High Fidelity, Kevin Gray at Coherent and remastering, it's a great job. It sounds very, very nice. Certainly brings back a lot of memories of the time. If you're a Yes fan and you're interested in the best quality of best quality of sound in this Yes Relayer, and I'm not really sure how many other, audiophile quality type pressings have been done of this album. I doubt there's been many. I don't know for sure though. This is a very good sounding quality release of Yes Relayer. If you're a Yes fan and really like Relayer, highly recommend it. If it's not a big, huge album that you're really fond of, but do you like Yes, I'm sure you can find an original copy of this for pretty dirt cheap, in probably fairly decent condition used. So that's another option. But Yes Relayer, Rhino High Fidelity, very nice sounding album, very good album. Glad to have it in my collection. Moving on to Bad Company, their original very first release in 1974. Great hits on the album, fantastic album, at least in my opinion. I really got into Bad Company with their original release album. Like I say, in 1974, this album I played an awful lot. Just great, fantastic songs. I'll do a quick comparison to the Atlantic 75 Analogue Productions version of it with you, but let's quickly take a look at what Rhino has done. As we talked about already, Rhino High Fidelities, they're cut from the original master tapes by Kevin Gray at Coherent, pressed at Optimal Media, includes exclusive insert with commentary by engineer Ron Nevison and Paul Rogers. It's 50th anniversary pressing, as it is to 2024, just like Yes Relayer. And of course, these albums are limited to 5,000 copies each. Really great job once again on the gatefold. I think they did a fantastic job. Here's the inside of the gatefold. It looks very, very nice. Here's the back side of the album. The inserts in the album, let me pull them out. Once again, I think Rhino does a great job with this. I think the information provided is really neat. Once again, a kind of a copy of the original master tapes. There's the back side of that. And then, of course, here's the commentary that we talked about. I think this information that they're providing with these Rhino High Fidelity albums, I think is fantastic. I think it's excellent. Really quickly, let's take a quick peek at the vinyl. 180 gram. Of course, these are 33 RPM, which is really, I think, fantastic. I think Kevin Gray did a very, nice job remastering this. It sounds very, very good. Certainly better than the original pressing of the album that I have. Well, really and truthfully, let's get right to the get-go of it. How does it compare with the Acoustic Sounds Atlantic 75 version of the album? Let's take a quick look at the gatefold. A little bit different presentation here. The picture on the inside, absolutely fantastic. Backside is very, very similar on the Atlantic 75 version of the album. Of course, Bad Company, this album is 45 RPM, and this was remastered by Ryan K. Smith. So how does it really compare? And I'm not going to take a lot of time and just go through every song like sometimes we have done. I'm just going to kind of pick a couple, three, and let you know my thoughts. First off, 33 RPM, 45 RPM, Kevin Gray, Ryan K. Smith doing the remastering. The first thing that was very, very noticeable as I did the comparison between the Atlantic 75 and the Rhino High Fidelity was the noise floor on the album. Obviously, the Atlantic 75 and Analogue Productions version, way low noise floor, way low. Very, very obvious, very, very quick to note when you compare the two. And granted, I'm not comparing them side by side. You know, I've only got one turntable, turning them and listening to them. But boy, oh boy, the noise floor on the Analogue Productions is just way, way low. But anyway, let's take a couple songs. We'll talk about and go from there. I felt on Ready to Love on side 2, which is really one of the best songs on the album for me. And when I say side 2, that's on the Analogue Productions version of it. Piano solo is more liquid on the Analogue Productions versions. Drums are tighter and more extended as well with the Analogue Productions Atlantic 75. Don't Let Me Down is more open and detailed. Guitar solo is clean and non-fatiguing. It's really, to be honest with you, there's just more detail. And is it because of the 45 RPM? Is it because of the low noise floor? I think combination of the two is probably the best way to do it. I think Ryan K. Smith did a great job with the remastering. But, you know, over here, Kevin Gray did a great job as well. It's 33 RPM. I don't think the vinyl that's used with the Rhino High Fidelity is nearly as good, certainly not nearly as quiet as what Analogue Productions is using. So I think there in itself lies a huge benefit. So really, in my comparison, the sound quality of the Analogue Productions version of Bad Company as part of the Atlantic 75 sounds quite a bit better to me in my ears through my system than the Rhino High Fidelity. Now, one thing that I can say about the Rhino High Fidelity, it's 33 RPM, and it remains that synergy with the original pressing of the album. You're not turning over the album quite so much, so there is that the Rhino High Fidelity does provide. But as far as overall sound quality, you know, honestly and truthfully, the Analogue Productions just sounds better, really from top to bottom. Detail, extension, top to bottom is just better on the Analogue Productions. So which one of these, since they're both still available to get, which one should you get? And I tell you, it's really kind of a preference. If you really, really, really love the album and want the best sounding quality, and you're okay with turning the vinyl over 2 more times and flipping on a different record, absolutely the best sound quality is the Analogue Productions Atlantic 75. To me, it is superior than the Rhino High Fidelity version. The Rhino High Fidelity version does sound very, very good. It really does. It just has a higher noise floor, which I think is very, very noticeable right from the time you set the needle down on the vinyl. It's very apparent. It's very obvious. And I think that may add a little bit to the better sounding on the Analogue Productions version because of the quietness of the vinyl. If it's a favorite album of yours, because really, when you really get right down to it, I mean, this is $20 more than this one. I realize that either one of them, you got shipping on top of that. So really, it's a preference and a personal choice. If you're really into just 33 RPM and would like to turn it around, you're not going to go wrong with the Rhino High Fidelity. You're really not. It does sound very good. I don't mean to shed and make it sound like the Analogue Productions is heads and tails better. It is better, but it's not like leaps and bounds better. It's just a quieter presentation, and it just has a little bit more detail top to bottom than the Rhino High Fidelity does. And I really think 45 RPM and the quiet vinyl is the big reason for the difference in the sound quality. I'm not necessarily thinking that remastering was a whole lot different. I mean, I really don't know, but honestly and truthfully, the Rhino High Fidelity is very good. Can't go wrong with it. It's still available today for $40 plus shipping, as well as the Analogue Productions version is available for $60 plus shipping. Better sounding for sure. Probably a little bit more synergy when you sit down and want to listen to the entire album with the Rhino High Fidelity. You're not turning that album over so much, which really can be a nice, enjoyable listen. That's my review of the two Rhino High Fidelity releases, Yes Relayer and Bad Company's very first album, both albums from 1974. I think they did a great job with them. Both highly, highly recommended. In a direct comparison, the Analogue Productions version of Bad Company does best the Rhino High Fidelity and overall sound quality. The question is it $20 more? And that's really up to you. If you really love the album, it's absolutely worth it for sure. Great albums, highly, highly recommended. Thank you so much for watching. Next video, we'll be taking a look at the latest two releases from Analogue Productions as part of the Pablo series. We're also going to be taking a look at Simon and Garfunkel and the Santana latest releases from Mobile Fidelity. Those videos are coming up. Plus, part 2 of my search for audio nirvana. That's coming up here in the next week and a half, as I'm narrowing that search down, in particular focusing on speakers. I'll kind of lay out to you where I'm at, and kind of at that video, kind of to give you my narrowed down version. I've got it down right now with only a couple speakers left to listen to. I've got it narrowed down to 2. And I want to share that with you. Thank you so much for being with me here today. Please leave your comments in the comment section below. If you like what you see, please go ahead and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. Appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great day.